What's going on? It's Hold My Banner. Glad you could join us. Adam Pellerin, Ountae, Campbell back with you. Talk a little bit about the Boston Celtics Summer League.
Yeah.
See how things are going there. The Damian Lillard reports and rumors are still swirling. We'll get into that too.
Yeah.
Plus, Bleacher Report released its list of the top 100 players of all time. There is some room for debate. Let's just say that. So we'll dig into that. But first off, man, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing really well.
Yeah.
The Portland WNBA team finally announced their new logos and their team name, Portland Fire.
Yeah.
I love the logo. I'm excited about that. WNBA action. I know we're not going to talk too much WNBA or any at all today because we have so many things to talk about in Celtics land. But man, it's been fun watching the W this summer. I can't lie.
No question about that. And Portland Fire is
That's a sick name. It's a sick name.
No,
dude.
that's legit. So I like that. Maybe for another episode we'll get into that. But yeah, you're right. We got a lot to talk about. And, I think we should start off with the Damian Lillard conversation because, that's the biggest name out there. And those reports are still surfacing that Lillard and the Celtics could be a reality. In fact, this was the latest here from Boston Globe's Gary Washburn. Jayson Tatum actively recruiting Damian Lillard to join the Celtics, which is interesting because of the fact that Tatum not playing this year because of the Achilles, recruiting another guy in Lillard who's not playing this year because of the Achilles. And so they're clearly thinking ahead. And by the way, happy 35th birthday, Damian Lillard. And so on his birthday, we will talk about the greatest gift of all, maybe, for the Celtics this offseason, getting Damian Lillard. I know we've talked about this before, but just to refresh everybody's mind, where are you with Damian Lillard and the Celtics?
Yeah, I would love it. I'm in on it. I'm all in on it. And the reason that I'm in on it is because I would like it at a cheaper deal. You're getting a guy who's a volume scorer, can shoot the three ball really well, has never really gotten the opportunity to play with two stars of this magnitude with Tatum and Brown. Now, he's played with LA, he's played with CJ McCollum, he's played with Giannis, but having two guys who are at the peak of their abilities, obviously we aren't sure what Tatum is going to look like, but I'm assuming that he's going to be just fine and that he's going to be an all-star caliber player when he returns from his injury as well. Adding Damian Lillard into that mix, I'm all in on it.
Yeah, because I think at this point in his career, and I agree with you, by the way, and I think at this point in his career, and I think it was evident with the fact that, he's joining the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis Antetokounmpo, obviously the star of that team, right? So he's joining that team to be a part of a potential NBA champion, something that obviously he's never accomplished in his entire career. So if now he's in the driver's seat, and by the way, what a great situation he's in because he's getting paid by the Milwaukee Bucks, and he has his choice of suitors as well. And so if you're Lillard, now you get to hit the reset button and look at what's out there. And the Celtics seem like they would be a pretty good fit. Obviously not for this year. He's not playing. Tatum's not playing. But 2 years from now, when Lillard and Tatum are both healthy together, and you have a year of Jaylen Brown being the man, you would have to think that Jaylen's going to be, and again, you don't want to see Tatum get hurt. It was a devastating injury. It obviously killed the Celtics' playoff hopes. And it's a question mark moving forward with Tatum. But the positive, right, and the reality that we're in right now is that Jaylen Brown has the opportunity to be the man this year. You would think that he would be better off for that going into the season 2 years from now with all of that experience. And then, you don't have to carry the load anymore because you got Tatum and potentially Lillard.
100%. And the thing about Jaylen Brown is that he's always been malleable. He's always been a guy that does whatever the team needs. I mean, he even spoke on it. He's on Kyrie Irving's Twitch stream the other day, and he's like, I got to be the player that had to do whatever the team needed. Now I get the opportunity to be the guy, you know what I'm saying? And so when you're working Jayson Tatum back into health in that 26-27 season, when you're working Damian Lillard back to health in that 26-27 season, you can ask Jaylen Brown to take over some of those liberties that he's built in this upcoming season, being the guy, being the main ball handler, being the scorer. While those two dudes figure it out, he'll be able to do that. And then as the season kind of transitions, as we get past that All-Star break and everything that else is going, and you're locking in on playoffs, then you lean back more into Jayson Tatum's team, and then you see where Jaylen Brown and Damian Lillard fall in a line. And it has me thinking, I wanted to ask you, because Travis brought up this little nugget last episode, and I was like, wow, that's a really good point. How would this affect everybody else on the team? I mean, we're talking about the 2 stars, but how would this affect the Derrick White? How would this affect a Payton Pritchard, who thinks probably he's the starting point guard for the Boston Celtics going into this upcoming season? How would that affect how he thinks about the situation?
What about a Baylor Shireman? I mean, I think he's going to be a big part of this situation next year, too.
Yeah.
No, that's a little tease to the Summer League action that we had last night. But no, all jokes aside, by the way, I'm a big fan of Hold My Banner when I'm not on the show, so I did hear that question from Travis as well. I think Payton Pritchard's a 6th man. I don't think he's a starting point guard.
So you're with
for the Celtics.
me. I agree.
Yeah, I don't think that, okay, now you're in a situation where Drew Holiday's been traded. Payton Pritchard, the next step for him is to be the starting point guard of the Celtics. I'm not saying that he would be, it would be a bad decision. Right. It wouldn't be. But I think that, all right, well, now you have Damian Lillard. And I think that's your guy.
Right.
That's your guy. You got Damian Lillard.
Yeah.
So how would that impact Payton Pritchard? I mean, he's won a title with the Celtics, right? So he understands. And you just talked about Jaylen Brown needing to be whatever the team needs him to be.
Right.
If you're Payton Pritchard, you understand that too.
Yeah.
Because you know what it takes to win a title now.
Yeah.
And if that means, again, coming off the bench, providing the 6th man role, scoring role, then that's what you do.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
100%.
So I'm on board with that.
And I agree with you. I said it to Travis then. I say it to anytime anybody asks me. I love Payton Pritchard and I love what he does. But, just like how we loved what Jordan Poole was doing when he was coming off the bench with the Warriors, didn't look so pretty when he became the starter and ran the team out there in Washington, D.C. So, I'm not saying that it would be to that level with Payton Pritchard, because I trust Payton's maturity and his ability to play within the system and not get outside of himself more than I trust Jordan Poole's ability to do so. But yes, it could be a little shaky. The ceiling wouldn't be as high if Payton Pritchard is your starting point.
Yeah, and I think that there is a psychological factor here that has to be in play, right? Because even though Payton Pritchard, again, outstanding off the bench, played a pivotal, a critical role for the Celtics. Yeah. Oh man, I'm the starting point guard now. It's a little bit of a different mindset, and I think there would be an adjustment period there for Pritchard.
100% adjustment period. It's different when you got to come off the bench and go against the second team guys who are also coming off the bench cold and blah blah blah. And when you're going to get your shots. Now you're in the starting lineup, and it's like, all right, well, Tatum hasn't shot the ball 3 times. All right, now Jaylen Brown hasn't got his 5 shots off now. Now you have to be the guy that gets, a JB or a Derrick White in this upcoming season, their looks first, and then figure out how you fit in after that. That's a different mindset than coming off the bench and being say, hey, man, the first look you get, take it. You know what I mean?
So if you're Damian Lillard, right, and you're looking at, the potential suitors who are out there, right? I mean, are the Celtics the right fit for him?
Yeah.
If you're looking at, if you're Damian Lillard, you're like, all right, who's interested? Right?
Yeah. It depends on what he wants.
Yeah.
If he wants to be the man and he thinks that he can still be the man and win a championship, then, he should probably go to Miami.
Yeah.
I'm just being honest. You know what I'm saying? I'm not happy I wouldn't be happy about that here in Boston land, but he should probably go to Miami. If he really wants to win the championship, non-biased opinion, I think the Boston Celtics have to be his best option.
I think you get to that point in your career, man, where you've achieved all of this individual success and you've made all the money you can make, right? And you're still getting paid by Milwaukee, as we referenced earlier.
Yeah.
Then the priority for a guy like Lillard, who clearly, I think, wants to win.
Yes.
Above everything else.
Yeah.
Right? Not the money.
Right.
Not the individual success.
Right.
The Celtics seem like the best possible fit.
So what's taking so long now?
I don't know what's going on.
Well, all right, but look, I'm going to ask you really quickly on the throwaway line, all right?
Okay.
He comes to the Celtics.
Yeah.
Him and Tatum are ready, 26-27.
Yeah.
NBA champions?
I think so.
Whew.
I think so. You know why? Because if you're getting Lillard,
yes,
that means you are all in.
Yeah.
again, right?
Okay.
You're hitting the reset button. You get under the second apron.
Yeah.
You traded Porzingis. You traded Holiday. Now you bring in Lillard on cheap money,
Yeah.
and you have the opportunity to fill out your roster once again. You
Yeah.
make some moves. The Simons deal,
Right. Simons has Niang has
Exactly.
expiring deal. They have
Exactly.
money opening up.
Exactly.
100%.
Good stuff. And you know what? You also have some other guys who are vying for roster spots that could be a part of not only this year, but maybe in that championship run with Damian Lillard on the roster.
Yeah.
Summer League action last night for the Celtics. We'll get into that next. We're back. It's Hold My Banner. Adam and Ountae here with you. Celtics Summer League action continued last night, and I'm sad to say that the perfect Summer League season has gone up in smoke, my friend.
Yeah.
Celtics losing last night to the Miami Heat, 196, your final.
Yep.
So watching last night's game, and again, truth be told, wasn't paying too close attention to the Summer League games, man. There's been some other stuff going on. As you know, we wear many hats here at Nesson, and so it was sort of looking at the Red Sox and some of the things that the Bruins have been doing this offseason. So wasn't paying too close attention.
And that home run derby was fun, too.
And the home run derby was pretty fun last night.
Yeah.
But I did watch.
Yeah.
And so I'll give you my take on last night's game and what stood out to me. But first, I want to get your thoughts on last night's game and the Summer League season as a whole for the Celtics so far. What stood out to you?
Energy. I think Brad epitomized, like he had an idea of what he wanted this team to be like going forward. What he wanted. He wanted youth. He wanted fast. He wanted energy, and he wanted winners. And I can tell you what, the Celtics lost that game last night. They went up against a Miami Heat team who was looking to really win a game.
They were winless going in.
Right. Pellerin, Larson talked about it before the tip, like, yo, I just want to win. You know what I'm saying? So they were locked in trying to win a game, too. They've been challenged by their head coach to go out there and be physical and beat guys up and do the things that the Miami Heat culture is. The Boston Celtics did the same in that game. I mean, you saw Jordan Walsh get ejected from a Summer League game. I've never seen that before. You know what I'm saying?
Right? Yeah.
And Joe Mazzulla, I guess, called him and said, hey, man, I love it, you know, and Brad wasn't as much of a fan
he was
on
sitting
the sideline.
courtside. If you're watching the game, you saw Brad say, Jordan! Something along those lines after the shove.
So
second shove.
You know, I just noticed that they came with energy and intensity. They crashed the glass offensively hard, which shows a team that's locked in on the, on the energy things. They picked up full court. They did the things that they needed to. The shots weren't falling for them last night, but I'm not really worried about that.
Yeah. I'll start with Jordan Walsh just because we were talking about that, and it was funny, right? So he gets tossed from the game, his second technical, play along the sidelines. Brad Stevens watching after the shove, right? And so he's like all fired up, right? He's like, right? Which I thought was kind of funny. I saw a couple of the players laughing too. They're like, all right, man, what are you doing? Like, you just got tossed. But he said post-game, I don't know if you saw this, that he kind of low-key forgot that he got teed up earlier in the game. And so he might have handled that situation a little bit differently.
Yes.
So he doesn't get tossed from the game because you don't really want to get tossed, especially since the way he was playing.
Yeah.
I mean, he was playing very well.
He was.
Maybe his best out of the three so
Yeah,
far,
he had
right?
13 points in 10 minutes.
Last time out, he had 17 after a rough game one, I believe.
Right.
So you don't want to get tossed because you want to showcase yourself as much as possible in these games. That's what this is all about. To your point, guy who brings energy, and he certainly does, and he was doing that. So you don't want to see him get tossed, but I was definitely impressed with what I saw right off the tip.
Right. He missed that dunk. Right, exactly.
So he was showing that sort of aggressiveness and that energy and that tenacity that you were talking about. So, I was actually expecting him to have more of a role with the Celtics last year. He didn't have a great Summer League last year.
Right.
And didn't, carve out a role for himself on a very good Celtics team. Obviously, you're trying to fight for minutes. But this year, as we've talked about, this is the opportunity for a lot of the guys that we see on the court in the Summer League to break through in the NBA roster.
100%. I mean, you talk about him, and he had an amazing game in that 10 minutes that he had. But the development that he's had on the defensive end, what he's become as a leader for that team. I think a big part of why they lost that game is because they lost his leadership, you know what I mean, being around the guys. If they would have had him, they would have got that push earlier and probably finished out the game stronger than they did. And he's the biggest thing about him and his development, I think, is being able to hit that catch and shoot three.
Yeah.
Which he's shown, you know, game 1 was a little shaky, but like you said, game 2, game 3, he's shown the ability to make that shot at a pretty high level. As long as he can do that, he can carve out real minutes for the Celtics team. I think he's going to carve them out no matter what. But that can make this team take a little bit further step. I see them like as a 6 or 7 seed in the East. They can end up being a 4 seed if he's a guy that consistently knocks down that shot. Now, the other guy that everyone has their eye on is Hugo Gonzalez, of course, the first-round draft pick for the Celtics here in the 2025 NBA draft. I mean, this kid didn't have the game that you would expect out of him offensively, because of the, Jordan Walsh being out, Amari Williams sitting out of this one. You would assume that he's going to step up offensively, and I think he tried. But that's not his skill set right now. I think the parts that people need to buy into that were important for him in this game was the hustle on the offensive glass, his ability to cut and make plays for himself without the ball. The defense was really good when he was not getting too excited. That's the thing about him. I think he's young. He's like a puppy. He's like a young puppy. You know what I mean? You get that puppy, and they're scratching at your legs at him, and they're clawing at you, and they're jumping at you.
Yeah, it's like, get off me, come on.
That's Hugo Gonzalez right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
On the offense and the defensive end, I think he needs to slow down a hair a little bit, but I think when you put him around the calm and collectedness of a JB, of a Derrick White, even a George Niang if he's gonna be around this team, he's gonna figure out how to fit in defensively and figure out his defensive identity and where he can take swings and where he can take misses and take chances, because they won't have the front court that can protect the rim like they've had in the past.
The peer-to-peer mentorship, right? Once you get to training camp, obviously with those veterans that are there, and again, Jayson Tatum's out. They made some trades, but they still have some core pieces that have been there, done that, and won a championship.
Right.
So that's going to be important for a young player like Hugo Gonzalez. But in terms of, his game, and I think, what you were talking about in terms of his tenacity and the energy that brings to the court, there was one sequence that I think encapsulated, what you're going to see from Hugo Gonzalez, not only this summer, but probably in training camp, was that, good on the offensive glass, right? But gets the offensive rebound, and immediately he turns over the basketball. Right? So it's like you got to take the good with the bad, 100%. And it's part of a learning process with him. In terms of other guys that stood out, and obviously he's 19 years old. How about Charles Bassey?
Man.
So I think that this is the guy out of who we're talking about, like so far, that has a legit shot at the Celtics roster.
I mean, he might have a chance of being a starter in this Celtics roster.
Right?
You know what I'm saying? He played in that Spurs system. He's, came into the league. He played for the 76ers, played under Joel Embiid. I mean, those are two places that you want to be when you want to learn how to be a good defensive big. I mean, the Spurs under Popovich, you can't complain about that. Learning from Joel Embiid, I know people aren't a huge fan of here in Boston. Whatever you want to feel about him, I don't care.
Right.
Defensively, when he is on the court, he is one of the better defenders in the NBA currently. So if you're learning from guys like that, you're going to be a great player. But it's not even just the defense. It's the fact that he understands how to rebound the ball on the offensive end. He understands how to be a vertical big, set screens, roll hard to the rim, get above the rim before the ball's even out of your player's hands, and he's sitting there waiting in the air like, are you going to throw it? I mean, if Max Hugla, who's a great guard, who probably won't get a lot of minutes on this Boston Celtics team, can help him get up and throw lobs, then, I mean, what do you think is going to happen when he's with a Derrick White, when he's with a Jaylen Brown? It's going to be nice and easy for him.
Yeah, and I think that's something that the Celtics clearly need to address is, the big man situation, right? With the departure of Porzingis and Luke Cornett, and then obviously you got Al Horford, who, might even retire. If he doesn't find the right fit for him. So there's definitely a need for a Charles Bassey on the roster. And then you have my guy Baylor Shireman, man. I'll be honest with you, I like his game, man. I like you're like well, no, I mean I think I think he's a smart player. I think he's a real smart player. Some of the nice passes he made last night. And he was able to shoot 3 a little bit last night, which I think stood out.
Started figuring it out a little bit. He's been a little cold throughout Summer League, but he started to figure it out there a little bit. I think the shot, yes. Yeah, I'm not worried about that. He is a shooter. He's made over, I think it was like 400 or 500 threes, or it was some crazy number. I can't remember. Yeah. But he made a lot of threes in college. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And you're talking about a guy who's, comes in and buys into the fact that, hey, I'm not just a shooter. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to just be a shooter. I'm not, Sam Hauser as a rookie or whatever. No disrespect to Sam Hauser. He was a great player as a rookie. But, I come in.
Sam Hauser got paid.
He did, because he did a lot of great things. Yeah. But, he comes in, he knows immediately that he needs to be better on defense. He's bought into that. He's taking charges out there. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He's doing a little bit of that back tap, as we like to call it in the basketball circles, where he's letting guys kind of go by him, and he what we call Ole defense, and he's just tapping it from the back. I don't think Joe Mazzulla's going to like that too much.
No, that's not part of the
you know what I mean? He's being active in different ways on the defensive end. He's bringing a lot of leadership to these young guys on the team. He's making shots. He's facilitating. He's doing everything that you could ask from him. He got a nice offensive rebound in the game as well, so he knows how to crash the glass. He does a little bit of everything. It's like a poor man's version of Jayson Tatum. And when you're looking for guys who are going to, build up some minutes for Jayson Tatum, when you're taking away 30-something minutes,
right,
and you're trying to fill that with guys, 5 minutes here of Baylor Shireman, 5 minutes here of Jordan Walsh, maybe 5 minutes here of a Miles Norris, who also did a great job in the Summer League game, showing his ability to switch on the bigs and do stuff like that. Another 10 minutes here from, Bassey to fill out some of those minutes. He did a great job guarding Khalil Ware in the paint last night. It's going to be by committee. You're not doing it by one person.
Right, and that's why these Summer League games, for the first time in a while, are important.
Yes.
Because you're looking at guys who could actually play a role on the Celtics roster
100%.
All right, so I'll be perfectly honest with you. Big Kenny Lofton Jr. fan.
Oh,
I love watching this guy play. I know it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Yes.
But if this guy ever made the Celtics roster, he would be a fan favorite, man.
Yeah.
The side, it's like Big Baby reincarnate, without the criminal record. Without the criminal record.
Right.
You know what I mean? but seriously, just watching him back, I don't know who it was last night, backing somebody down.
Yeah.
And he's a guy had 42 points in an NBA game, man.
Yeah.
He'd fill it up a little bit. I know he's not making the roster, but it'd be like Taco Fall when Taco finally got in the game a couple years back.
Yeah.
Like, Taco Tuesday, let's go.
Right. And Casey brought up the fact that I brought him up before the Summer League started, is just saying, hey, this is a player of note. He could do some good things. Let's see what he does. You know what I mean? Right. Could he fill out some 4-man minutes for this Boston Celtics team with no Jayson Tatum, with no KP? You know what I mean? Could he fill out some of those minutes? Offensively,
he's not gonna make the team, man.
He's just a tough watch sometimes.
Yeah.
I do love when he gets downhill and he puts his shoulder in the guys and he's physical, and it's like, man, how do you stop that? And then the next play, he's jacking up a three, and dribbling too much, and not defensively, just not that guy. I think there's a role for him in the NBA somewhere, because I do think he has the talent to be an NBA guy off the bench. All these things that he brings, but Celtics, dog.
No, he's not. He's not making the team. He's going back to China. That's where he's playing professionally, right?
Wong Tigers. Who he play for?
That's
Shaq said.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But you know what? He would have dominated in the 1960s in the NBA. You know what I mean?
Probably.
He would have dominated. He probably would have made the Bleacher Report Top 100 if he was a 1960s basketball. He'd probably be regarded as one of the best of all time. Which brings us to our next segment after the break. Bleacher Report's Top 100. Agree or disagree? We'll take a look at some of the names on the list and some of the omissions that we think had a chance of being on this list. That's next. All right, we're back at Hold My Banner. Jayson Tatum, ranked number 93 on Bleacher Report's Top 100 NBA players of all time. And these lists are always a lot of fun to talk about, because everybody's got an opinion, man. Everybody's list is different.
Yep.
And there are names that are not on this list that we think, or at least I think, should be on this list. There are names that are on this list that you're like, okay, why are they on this list? And then, it depends like on what your criteria is.
Right,
There's just so many different factors, and it's hard to sort of pick where to start. But since we started with Tatum,
yes.
right, number 93 on the list, and if you check out this Bleacher Report list, it has, which I think is a good feature. It has the because this is a panel of voters.
Yeah.
It has the highest ranking by a voter and the lowest top 100 ranking.
Yes.
So in Tatum's case, they landed on 93. His highest top 100 ranking was 55. His lowest top 100 ranking was unranked completely, which shows you the train of thought for people in this whole thing, right?
Right. I mean, the train of thought is just blasphemous, to be honest.
Oh, really?
I mean, yeah, just because,
In Tatum's case, or just the...
In general.
Okay.
In general.
All right.
And
Let's get into this.
The reason that I'm, upset about this, top 100 list and Tatum being 93rd on this list is, when you look at the names above Jayson Tatum, or you look at the guys that are around him, he doesn't get the respect that he needs to get. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And there's other guys that are even around him, like a Klay Thompson that I saw that didn't garner respect. He's at 98. The thing about Jayson Tatum is I think people give his team too much credit for the team's success.
Right.
Whenever anybody else wins, it was him. When Curry won and freaking Andre Iguodala won Finals MVP, it was like Curry got so much credit and all this other stuff, and he was still looked at as a top this and top that. But when Jayson Tatum wins, and just because Jaylen Brown had an amazing run, mind you, SGA won its Finals MVP this year.
Yeah.
Shot dang near identical.
Right.
Honestly, a little bit worse than what Jayson Tatum did throughout the 2024 NBA Finals. And no one was over here saying, Jalen Williams is the reason that the Thunder won the championship and this and that, and Chet Holmgren. Everyone's giving SGA his flowers. But when Tatum does it, it's not cool enough. It's not flashy enough. I don't know what it is, but because he plays into the team system and he doesn't just go out there and say, yeah, you know what? I'm scoring 40 every night, which we've seen him do. We've seen this kid dunk on everybody's king, LeBron James, number 2 on this list. Dunked on, Game 7.
Second year
Tatum
in the NBA,
rookie.
Man. Yeah. Was that rookie year?
Yes.
Yeah, it was
rookie year.
Yeah, that's right. That was
chest
rookie
to chest with the king.
That's right, because it was Jalen's
respect,
second
man.
year. That's right.
I'm tired of it, dog.
I like that, man. I like how you got in your soapbox. And you're a tall dude. You don't need to get on any soapbox for you to be heard. So I appreciate that. Yeah, these lists, and I think, all right, so let's get to the Tatum thing. I think the Tatum thing, I think you said it, he's not flashy. He's not a big personality. Right? And he addressed that during the season. He's not the Kevin Garnett type that's going to pound his chest.
Right.
He is not that guy. He is a guy that's just going to go to work and get his and get his.
Yeah.
He does. And it's interesting, you went that direction because we were talking before we went on the show about Tim Duncan and how Tim Duncan was playing. He didn't get the credit that he deserved
100%.
Until after he retired, and people were like, man, he's the greatest power forward of all time. Right?
Right.
And so I think Tatum's in that same sort of category.
Right. I would agree. There's going to be a time where we're going to say, wow, man, that dude Jayson Tatum was really, really good. I mean, we talk about closeout games, 50-point opportunities, he's done it. Game winners, he's done it. I mean, everything you dream about as a kid, when you sit there in your room and you shoot the basketball up into your hands like this and, 3, 2, 1, I'm going to do this. I'm going to lift the Larry LB. He's done it, man. The only accolades that he doesn't have is Finals MVP and NBA MVP. But there's guys on this list.
I know.
Who are pegged ahead of him who also do not have these accolades.
Like a Jimmy Butler.
Like a Paul George.
Like a Paul George. Yeah, let's go to the Paul George one because that's interesting, right? And so obviously Paul George, great scorer, sort of a freak, right?
Yes.
Also came back from, devastating injuries, right? And was able to be successful even afterwards. But ahead of Jayson Tatum on this, or that high at least.
Yeah.
That's one of the puzzling things.
78, man.
78. I mean, that's high. When looking at, for example, and this is something I also pointed out to you, Dikembe Mutombo is one of the greatest defensive centers of all time. He's 81. Like, how is Mutombo behind Paul George on this list when you're assessing, the importance, of Mutombo to the, any roster that he was on? I know he played for a lot of teams, but he's a 4-time Defensive Player of the Year, man.
Yes.
Like, that's no joke. A 3-time block champion. Like, the defensive prowess of Dikembe Mutombo certainly outweighs anything offensively that Paul George has done. Paul George, offensive player, has never stood out as much offensively as Dikembe Mutombo did defense.
And you're right. And I think that's where it comes into effect, where we have to understand how these people are voting. Culture is involved. Now, when you talk about, I'm with you. I don't think Paul George should be on a list higher than Dikembe Mutombo when you talk about culture, Jayson Tatum about culture, any of that other stuff, just because, you got the finger wag from Mutombo.
No.
Everyone knows that. Paul George, what is his signature moment? I have no idea. Getting shot over Dame.
Right.
Over him.
Like, what I'm saying? That's true.
But, and dunking on Chris Birdman Anderson, I can't forget that. That was dope. But, when you talk about Paul George, I think cultural effect comes in because he's every young kid's favorite player.
Yeah.
Like, he's these guys who are getting drafted now, these, Dylan Harpers, these Ace Baileys, these kids, like, they love to play like Paul George because when they were coming up, he was the 6'9" guy that put it between his legs, cross behind the back. He had the bag.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He went toe-to-toe with Bron a couple of times in the Eastern Conference Finals. You know what I'm saying? So it was one of those things where Paul George was arising as these young kids are now, falling in love with basketball. And I think that's maybe why some of these writers leaned into Paul George, but I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Yeah. All right. So as we go down this list, we get to our guy Damian Lillard, who's 64, right? We talked about as potentially being, a member of the Celtics this offseason, signing with the team. And then, you go further down, you get to Melo. You cool with Melo at 60? You cool with Melo at 60?
I guess. I mean, the thing about Melo is that when you're talking about, are we talking about, is this the best basketball players? Is this the best NBA players? Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, how are we looking at this?
And from a marketing perspective, too, right?
Right.
Carmelo Anthony and,
Yes. Are they including USA when they're talking about this? Because if you're talking about USA basketball, you got to give Melo a notch for that.
See, I don't think this is no.
So
I think
we're just talking about NBA.
Yeah. So because if you're going to do that, you have to, include some of the international guys, right? And so the great success. Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So so we're talking about just NBA careers, and I can't have Melo that high.
Right.
You know what I mean? I can't have him over at Jayson Tatum. I can't.
Right.
I just can't, and I don't want it to always come back to JT, but, when you start out putting him at 93 and then you're saying, okay, Melo, what did Melo do? He was a great player, but did he sacrifice to win a championship? If Jayson Tatum wanted to go play for the Wizards and average 40 a night, he damn well could.
Right.
And we all know he could.
Those are the best players.
You know what I'm saying? And then we're going to say he's
the
great.
greater good of the team.
Right. But then, you don't have guys in this list. We're going to talk about omissions. You don't have a DeMar DeRozan, who's done a lot of great things on some teams that haven't been that great. You know what I'm saying? Like Carmelo has done.
Right.
So why isn't he on the list, but Carmelo is? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, culture. That's always going to come bagot to it. But I don't agree with it.
Yeah. I want to get to a couple before we get to the omissions because I think we got to address some of the Celtics guys.
Okay.
How about Paul Pierce at 49? Now, Paul Pierce at 49. Dominique Wilkins, another great Celtic. Just kidding. One-time Celtic. At number 50.
Yeah.
And Ray Allen, obviously, former Celtic, number 51.
Yeah.
So, all right, I love Paul Pierce. Dominique Wilkins, man, if we're talking about the cultural aspect of it,
Yeah.
He never won a title.
Right.
But the human highlight reel, man.
Yes.
I feel like he's got to be higher than Pierce.
You're going with Dominique right there at 48. We have Russell Westbrook. And I don't think that Paul Pierce and Russell Westbrook, if we're talking about impact, dominance, Russell never won one, what I mean, and Paul Pierce did. But those MVP seasons, first triple-double since Oscar Robinson in a season, I mean, man, this dude has his own shoes, fashion brands, all this other stuff. Paul Pierce, once again, great player. I always think about him. But when we're having these debates of top position this, top position that. I feel like Paul Pierce's name often gets left off the board.
Yep.
And freaking Dominique's and Russell Westbrook's.
Yeah.
All Ray Allen's, you know what I'm saying? When you're talking about greatest, whatever.
Right.
Their names get brought up. Point guard, small forward, shooter of all time, brought up. Greatest Celtic is probably the only time that we bring up Paul Pierce.
You know, but the other thing too, you know, and I think that a lot of that, you talked about it earlier where, you know, guys have their signature moments that stand out, right?
Yeah.
And Pierce, what is Russell Westbrook's signature moment?
You're right.
Right?
Yeah.
And not to, I agree with you, not to take away what he was calling the triple-double MVP season, ridiculous, right? I think he has the most triple-doubles in NBA history, too, at this point, right? He passed Oscar Robertson, Magic on that list, too. Paul Pierce has some moments, right? How about mano-a-mano against LeBron James in the playoffs, right?
Yeah, that legacy. The Truth nickname is real. It's the
Shaq.
Truth. Naming him the Truth.
Right.
You know what I mean? The wheelchair. I know people like to make fun of it and everything like that, but that was a big moment that people remember. You know, him going into the locker room with the wheelchair, having a knee issue, coming back.
They do remember that, man.
But coming back and playing well and winning that game against Kobe Bryant.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that was a real moment.
Right.
He did that.
All right, we got to hustle a little bit because there's still a couple more things we got to get to. So we got to get deeper on the list here.
Okay.
You know, and again, like so many great players. You know, you could have a debate about like every single ranking. I just got to say this real quick. Dr. J at 20, I think is too low, too high. Excuse me.
Okay.
Right?
I can see that.
Because, again...
Iconic, though.
Yes, exactly.
That afro,
Behind, like,
the freaking...
seriously, you know,
30.
if you combine the ABA and the NBA stats, 30,000 points, dude.
Yeah.
Like, ridiculous.
Those Nets jerseys, playing those Converse, I mean, man, he epitomizes early NBA.
I think, and I love him, I think KG's too high. 16. You got him ahead of Jokic.
Yeah, I agree. That's a problem.
Right?
Iconic, though.
Yes.
And KG, dog.
Yeah.
And that's not even just with us being here in Boston. Like, everyone knows who Kevin Garnett is.
And a freak.
And just
and unlike anybody else during his time, right?
Yes.
95 when he was drafted.
We're talking about guys being loving Paul George. I mean, Biggs wanted to play like KG, you know what I mean?
Right.
There's that epic clip of him going through USA, playing one-on-one with guys and just bucket. But, like, he looked like a guard out there. Yeah, KG, man. Yes, but I agree. Jokic, up until this point, both one-time champions, Jokic being a 3-time NBA champion, he's definitely should be higher on this list.
All right, here we go. Kobe Bryant, 11, not in the top 10, which drew the ire of Shaq.
Yeah.
And a lot of people on social media.
Yeah.
Where do you land on this?
Yeah, Shaq told at Bleacher Report.
Yeah.
Kobe at 11.
He went right at him.
Is criminal, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Kobe at 11 is criminal. I personally, when you talk about culture, basketball, you know, all this other stuff, I mean, Kobe's meant so much to the game of basketball internationally.
Yeah.
As well as here in the United States. I think where I get into the issue is people are always going to tell me, well, you know, Kobe, field goal percentage, blase, blah, right?
Yeah.
And in an era where, you know, offenses weren't that great. They weren't that, you know, the triangle offense was the mecca of all offenses. He was asked to do a lot of things that other superstars wouldn't be asked to do now. Like we were talking about Jayson Tatum accepting the role. His role was to shoot the ball at all costs. And then you talk about Bill Russell being number 5. I love Bill Russell. Great player. I could not put into words how much he's meant to the game of basketball, how much he's meant to African-American men in this country as a whole. The things that he did, pioneer 100%. But, I mean, he played against, there was 8 NBA teams, and he shot 40% as a center from the field. But Kobe gets knocked.
That's a dangerous game to play, though, man.
I'm just saying.
No, I know.
Kobe gets knocked for not being a great scorer.
Well, what about then you take Wilt out, maybe?
I personally am cool with that. I put him over Will. I'm not putting him over Bill Russell. I'm just saying that the knocks that they give for Kobe or that they give for other players, they don't attribute to other players.
So here's the top 10. Steph, 10. Yes. Wilt at 9.
Yes.
Larry Bird at 8.
Yes.
You got Tim Duncan at 7.
Yes.
Shaq at 6, Bill Russell at 5, Magic at 4,
Yes.
Kareem, LeBron,
Yes. So look,
some guy who played in Chicago, Michael Jordan.
My thing.
So who comes out?
So my thing is, I definitely would have him over Wilt. I probably would have him over Curry. And I think what we've done to Tim Duncan in his career has just been insane. I definitely put him over Tim. I'm not saying that puts him over Bird. I don't have him over Bird. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's tough, man.
I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying that I think Tim needs to drop a little bit.
Okay.
And Kobe needs to scoot up a little bit and knock some of those other guys out. That's just how I feel.
All right, fair enough. We have no problem with Michael and Bron 1 and 2.
I don't.
I don't either.
Okay.
All right, let's get to the omissions then quickly. I had LaMarcus Aldridge.
Yeah.
20,000 point scorer, nearly 10,000 rebounds, no title, but 5-time All NBA.
Yeah.
So that was my top omission. You got an omission?
I mean, I probably already said it.
DeMar DeRozan.
I think DeMar should be in this conversation. I think the amount of points that he's put up into his career, when you talk about all this other stuff, I mean, you want to talk about effect and all this other stuff. In Toronto, I mean, in Canada, he's the man. You know what I mean? Over Chris Bosh, like
25,000 points,
right?
man.
Like
that's no joke.
He was the guy there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He couldn't get past Bron, which I mean, a lot of people couldn't get on this list because they couldn't get past Jordan.
Right.
But it is what it is, man. LeBron ran the East for a minute, and that a lot of guys fell to the wayside. Carmelo probably did too. You know what I'm saying? But all of those dudes are on the list. I feel like he should have snuck in the 90s, the late 90s.
Yeah, too, the only member of the 92 Dream Team outside of Christian Laettner not to make the top 100 was Chris Mullin.
Chris Mullin was another one that
No Chris Mullin on that list, which I thought was kind of surprising. But, I mean, I get that. Ron Artest.
No.
And I know you were no. But like defensively, like 4-time all defensive team, 1-time defensive player of the year.
If they're putting
still scarred by Game 7,
Luka
2010
at 57, I'll let you have Ron Artest
that's right.
in the
Luka.
list.
All right, fair enough. Man. But that's why these lists are a lot of fun, right? You can talk about it for hours, but we don't have that kind of time. So we got to hit the break, and when we come back, we'll have some final thoughts and have some fun too. Welcome back, Adam and Ountae here with you. We'll close things out by playing a little game of Poeltl.
Yes, sir.
Ready to go?
We got to do the NBA PA's player game, guessing game called Poeltl. So we're going to guess the player that they are thinking of. I usually tell Travis that you're going to guess the player that I'm thinking of, but we're going to do who they're thinking of.
All right, we doing a silhouette or no?
No silhouette.
No silhouette.
No
all right.
silhouette.
I mean, let's just throw it out there.
All right.
We could do Atlantic Division.
Yeah.
Let's go with Joel Embiid.
Joel Embiid. All right. So it is in the East. That's the only thing that we got.
All right.
Shorter than 7 foot, under 31, number under 21. Right. Guard, probably.
Okay, guard.
In the East.
All right.
Guard in the East.
Guard in the East.
Not in the Atlantic.
All right. Do we want to just go Derrick White?
Oh, okay. Is Derrick White under 31 right now?
31 years old?
Yeah, he's got to be.
I think so.
He's about to be around there, but it's probably close there.
I think so.
Okay, so it is a guard in the East, a little over 6'4". Okay. Not in the Atlantic Division.
Not in the Atlantic. All right.
Not in the Atlantic. So.
All right, you go.
Not in the Atlantic Central, over 6'4". I don't know. I want to say like a Kobe Wall. No, Kobe White's not 6'4". Josh Giddey?
Oh.
A little Josh Giddey action, maybe that'll work out for us. Let's see. Some random Bulls. Shout out to his teammate getting dunked on yesterday. Okay.
Let's see.
So over 22, over the number 3, over the number of 9 too. 9 in the Central. So we're in the.
All right.
We got this, Adam. Come on.
All right.
We got this. In the Southeast Division.
Southeast Division. So we're talking about.
Over number 9, between 22
yeah.
and 31.
Okay.
In the Southeast. So Hawks, Hornets, Heat, Magic, Wizards.
Can we go?
Hero?
Yeah, that's where I was gonna go.
I know. This is tough, man. We'll get there eventually. Oh, what a pull!
Let's go!
Tyler Hero! Let's go.
Let's
Good
go.
job, Adam. We did
Tyler
a little
Hero.
fist bump for those at home
Wow,
who
look
can't
at us
see
go,
us, man.
man.
But yeah, shout out to Tyler Hero. All right, so Tyler Hero.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Tyler Hero for a
Had a
little
great
bit.
season last year, man.
Yeah, he
Scoring-wise,
started to
you
figure it out, you know. I have to ask you this question, all right?
Am I a fan of his music? Is that the question?
No. I have to ask you this question, all right? Tyler Hero, Pat Riley, Miami Heat. Is it time for them to be done with Heat culture and Pat Riley? I just want to know. I've been on my soapbox, and I've been saying that Heat culture needs to die. Pat Riley needs to take a step away from basketball. Spoelstra, I still think he can coach.
Udonis Haslem, I saw him on the sideline.
I did. I saw that too. Yeah, I know. It's funny.
Yeah.
They think we probably planned this out. We couldn't even pick this if we wanted to. You know, playing the Miami Heat last night and now talking about them.
Yeah, it might be time. I mean, again, everybody has a shelf life, right? You get hired, you get fired in the league, and you know sometimes. You know, the shelf life is a little bit longer than others. Yeah. And I think that it's hard when you have an institution like Pat Riley as your head of everything.
Yeah.
And so that's one of those tough decisions that I think has to be mutual.
Yeah.
You know, you need somebody like that to say, you know what, it's time for me to step down. It's time for the passing of the guard. It's time to sort of hit the reset button for the betterment of the franchise.
100%. I mean, whenever I look at the Heat, like, I feel like every year over the last couple of years, it's been they don't have a first-round draft pick.
Yeah.
They haven't gotten any better. No one wants to play for them.
Which is crazy, right? Because, like, it's South Beach.
Right, it's Miami.
You know, like, I mean, we're talking, I mean, again, like a decade ago, maybe, man, I don't know, my math's off, but, like, I mean, that was the new big three down there, man.
Right.
Like, that was the spot.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then just, like, I mean,
all of a sudden, Braun leaves, and now nobody wants to go there.
Right,
you know
and again, Jimmy Butler did his best, right? Like, they were competitive. They made Eastern Conference Final, right?
Yeah.
Like, they were.
Yeah. And they drafted pretty well. I mean, I like Khalil Ware. I like, the Tyler Hero. I like Bam Adebayo. They've done a pretty good job in the draft as far as it goes. But I think, I was a huge D-Wade fan growing up as a kid. I was him and Rondo. Those were the guys that I really emulated my own game after growing up. And when they did D-Wade wrong, you know what I mean, on the way out, he was looking for, like, hey, man, like, can I get a deal? Like, you guys pay me? I mean, I took a pay cut to help you win championships, get LeBron here. I brought my, one of my best friends here, helped you guys, win the championship. Pat Riley, can I get a little, like, Kobe money? Like, can I get some thanks for doing that? You know what I'm saying? And, they were like, no, go play in Chicago. And I think after they did that and they showed that they don't have loyalty to Dwayne Wade.
No, Dwayne Wade in the fourth quarter.
Right. Their greatest player in their NBA history for the Miami Heat, people were kind of out on them after that, And so, the Jimmy Butler thing now, too, even though he's been kind of a guy who's, hasn't really fit in a lot of places, at this point it's pointing it to it being him and not being the team. It still felt mishandled the way Pat Riley went out in the media and talked badly about Jimmy Butler before the season started and all of those things. People, these NBA guys are noticing that.
Yeah, you have two strong personalities right there, too, in Riley and Butler, right? Clashing, and eventually, the player, has got to force his way out of town, and that's exactly what happened with Butler. But in terms of Pat Riley, it's like, man, the gentleman, and again, this is not age discrimination by any means, but he is 80 years old.
Right.
He's been doing this a long time. And, there are executives and coaches that are able to sort of get with the times better than others. Right? And sometimes, if you're caught in a rut and you're caught in, what used to work. Then that's hard to get out of, man.
I was always,
especially when you're in charge of personnel.
I was always told that the moment that you feel like you know everything is the time that you need to step away. I feel like, now I don't know Pat Riley personally, but I feel like a lot of this is him feeling like he knows everything and everybody else needs to fall in line. So maybe it is time. Quickly, about Tyler Hero. Do you think this is the peak? I mean, he was an all-star last year.
Yeah, he was a first-time all-star last year, averaged about 24 points per game. Yeah, I don't think that I think he's reached that ceiling. You think he can get a little bit better? Maybe making his teammates a little bit better?
Yes, I think that
perspective?
there's been a lot of time with him. Like, is he the point guard? Is he not the point guard? Is it Terry Rozier? Is it, Davion Mitchell? Is it a myriad of other guys that the Miami Heat have brought in? I think they need to do kind of like with Harden had with McHale. Shout out to Boston, Kevin McHale. But McHale was like, you're a point guard. You know what I mean? Coming in. I feel like if they were to change head coaches, which I don't think they should do or will do anytime soon, either way, Spoelstra needs to go in and say, hey, you're the point guard. You're going to do this. Hey, bam, you're shooting threes. Shoot 4 of them a game. We sucked anyways last year.
Right.
Shoot 4 of them a game until you figure it out, and let's build around you guys because we've been waiting to build around another superstar to come in, which doesn't look like it.
Maybe Udonis Haslam will come out of retirement. I mean, he played for
Dwayne Wade too. You know what I'm saying? Bring everybody back.
It's like Rick Pitino said
Bosh.
back in the day. It's like Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, Robert Parrish not walking through that door. Those guys aren't walking through that door.
Not at all.
But it's still a lot of fun, man.
It is.
I'm down
It
with
is.
that.
It has been a lot of fun.
Hey, this was a lot of fun. This
Yeah.
show.
Yeah.
Hold my banner. Let's do it again.
Let's do it.
We'll do it later this week.
We will. And hey, we got a little Bronny versus Celtics Summer League action. That's going to be fun to watch and fun to talk about.
Oh, man. All right, cool. For Ountae, I'm Adam. We'll see you next time on Hold My Banner.